Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
Hello everyone, it's the Cool One, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the few things that I think I've gotten right so far on my time in RLBot. I've gotten some interesting bot plays and, stuff like that, but today I'm going to be talking about one of, I think, my favorite mechanics that I've ever coded, and I'm going to be explaining how it works, so that way you can hopefully see for yourself. And today we're going to be talking about PenguinBot's rotations. So my goal with PenguinBot was to create a bot for triple threat. So for those of you who don't know, because you've been living under a rock, triple threat is the new tournament by Goose Fairy, and the basic challenge was basically going to be that it would be a 3v3 tournament where the bots would be playing with other random bots. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a bot that could do proper rotations with other random bots and with itself. And the result was PenguinBot. So today I'm going to be talking about the PenguinBot style of rotations. We're going to talk about the theory of how it works, and then we're going to watch a little bit of PenguinBot play and try to explain what PenguinBot is doing, why it makes certain decisions, and hopefully you can take some of PenguinBot's stuff for your own bots sometime. I would love it if the community learned a couple of things, because I've noticed that a lot of people have been finding rotations really hard, and I really haven't been, but that's because I have a really good system of rotation that I would like to play for you today. So, first things first, let's answer the how of how PenguinBot's rotation scheme works. And I kind of talked about this on stream, but it was more of like a joke. So I'm going to actually talk about how the PenguinBot system of rotations works. So this right here is my poor man's attempt at drawing the field. Actually, you know what? I'll draw it horizontally. That way we have more space. And so we'll say that PenguinBot's goal is over here, and the opponent's goal is over here. So yeah, I know, MS Paint drawings, they're amazing. But I feel like it might be helpful to visually show what I'm talking about rather than just ramble on and on. So PenguinBot's basic goal, right, is to push the ball in this general direction and hopefully to eventually get it on net. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to give PenguinBot a way to line up to the ball so that PenguinBot would be able to achieve those goals. So the solution that I came up with is one that I actually think is pretty smart, and one that I am going to be sharing with you today. And the basic idea is to essentially create zones where PenguinBot is going to try to be during times when PenguinBot's not going for the ball. So how does this work? So the basic idea is that we're going to be having 3 bots, right? So we want to have a position where we want the first bot to be, the second bot to be, and then the third bot will be attacking the ball. The idea is to create a continuous stream of attackers or defenders, so that way there's always a bot heading for the ball. And so the way that I did this was I essentially took the ball and I created 2 points. So I'll represent those with this 4-point star. So I created 2 points based off of the location of the ball, something like that. And those 2 points are generated by the bots every time it figures out where it wants to be going. So as a bot, we'll say that this is a bot here. Our goal is basically to evaluate our position as well as the positions of our teammates, and I will represent our teammates using red, and essentially figure out in very basic terms where each bot should be. So for example, we see that this bot right over here, this bot, is somewhat close to the ball. He's very close to the ball. He can get there very quickly. So we assume that this bot is the attacker. Then what we do is we figure out, we say, okay, so this bot's the attacker. So now we're going to say that this bot is going to go to this point, and this bot's going to go to this point. And basically what this ends up doing is it creates a sort of pseudo-rotation, because whenever the ball moves, these points are going to be updated, and the stats on the bots are going to change. So as a result, PenguinBot is basically always in position, ready to follow up on any shots or ready to do whatever. So the 2 points that I chose were, one, a point this point here, which is in the midfield position. And then secondly, I chose this point back here, which is a little bit further back. And both of these points are basically placed on the field, although on the same side of the field as the ball. This one is placed to be basically between these 2 points, and this one's actually mostly center, but slightly offset. And that basically creates this, essentially we can think of it as a triangle of defense. So basically, if the ball flies backwards, it'll go to this spot, and if the ball flies out to the side, it'll go to this spot. And then whenever the attacking bot changes, say that we're this spot up here. I'm gonna choose a thicker line stroke. Say we're this spot up here. What we can do is every so often we can evaluate and say, okay, well, what's happening? So we'll say that what's happening with the other bots? What are they doing? What should I be doing? So by dynamically updating this, we can actually create some really cool rotations with completely random bots, because the bot's behavior is completely dependent on what the other bots are doing. So for example, let's say that this bot over here, or let's say that this bot, instead of attacking the ball, decides to turn around and head back. Well, now what we can do is we update. We say, oh wait, the attacking bot is not attacking the ball, so we can update and say, okay, well, now we should be heading towards the ball, right? And that updates our target. Or let's say that since we're playing with random bots, let's say that the other bot is really bad and kind of just decides to double commit. Well, that's fine. We just watch the other bots and say, well, one of them is supposed to be attacking it, so I better stick back. What I really think is smart about the way I did PenguinBot, though, was the defensive rotations, because defensive rotations are a little bit hard to do. So the way that I did defensive rotations for the bot is I set it up so that there will be one bot attacking the ball, and then there will be one bot in goal, and then there will be one bot in the corner sitting on the boost pad. So the basic idea is this bot's right here to immediately attack the ball, and this bot's going to be able to get the clear immediately afterwards because he's going to have full boost. PenguinBot is allowed to double and triple commit when in the goal box because I don't trust my teammates to always have the save. Heck, I don't even trust PenguinBot to always have the save. So that also means that since this guy's spaced a little bit back, he'll start attacking the ball and then have it partially cleared, and then he'll finish the clear off and get it out of the get it away from the goal and back into the midfield where the offensive rotations will pick up. So that explains the basic pseudocode of what we're doing, and now the question becomes, well, how are we doing this? So going back to our example of the offensive rotations, the basic way that we achieve the evaluation of who's going to where is using a couple of functions that I won't really go into detail on, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate how quickly each bot will get to the ball and assign it a score based on that. And then what we do is we assume that the bot with the lowest score is going to be attacking the ball because he's the closest one. And it's not just closest. The factors that are taken into account are stuff like closest to the ball, facing direction, current velocity, and also boost as well. PenguinBot assumes that bots with large amounts of boost can get to the ball faster. And this function doesn't have to be accurate. It just has to be roughly about right, and you can tweak the function to kind of change the behavior of the bots, because as soon as this bot has a higher score than this bot's going to start moving in, and this is where the magic of the functions comes in. So that's how we figure out who's going to the bot initially. But then how do we determine who's going to be going for which of these points? Because the last thing we'd want is for both bots to end up in the same location, because that's not exactly a double commit, because they're not double committing for the ball, but they're double committing in terms of they're both in the same location and effectively being useless. So it's much better to have them spaced out. So what PenguinBot does, originally I had it try to determine basically whether it's faster for this bot to go here and this bot to go here, or this bot to go here, this bot to go here. But in the end, I actually ended up finding an even simpler solution. All we have to do, in terms of keeping in mind with the team play, is we evaluate the time for each bot to get to the first of the 2 stars. And by first, I mean that this is the star that we want to always have filled. So the star that is defined first PenguinBot will try much harder to make sure that there is a bot there rather than the second position. So for example, when PenguinBot is in goal, the bot in goal is given the first star. So that way if the bot in goal is demoed, PenguinBot can detect that and can move in to take that bot's position. Or say this on offense, let's say this bot now is attacking the ball. Well, now this bot back here can come in and move to this position and keep the rotations going. So yeah. So the bots will evaluate, well, which of these 2 bots can get to this point faster, and the one that can get to that point faster is then assigned with this. And this is done every time the bot evaluates, which can be it can either be every frame, or I like to actually space out my evaluations to only happen when, say, the ball's path changes, or if the attacking bot turns away from the ball or gets too far from the ball, stuff like that. So yeah, that's how the bots evaluate who should be going for the ball. And what this leads to is basically a rotation scheme where the bot who is quickest to the ball will end up going for the ball, and then the other bots will be in position ready to go in. And even when the other bots don't run this rotation scheme, this rotation scheme still works, because what ends up happening is the bots, if there's a bot that does something different, like let's say, let's say the attacking bot is actually an all-time goalie. So then the defending bot, the bot that we thought was attacking, now goes all the way back to goal. Well, that's fine. We just reevaluate and we say, okay, well, this guy's no longer the quickest to get to the ball. He now has some ridiculously high score. We'll say something like 5. And these score numbers don't necessarily have to have some units. So long as it's larger when the bot takes longer to get there, that's fine. You can pick your own units. And then we can say, okay, well, now that bot's gone all the way back, well, now this bot is now the closest one, so this bot should be attacking. And if this bot is PenguinBot, then he says, well, that guy should be attacking, which means that I better move up. I better move up to the first position. And what ends up happening is this bot will go to here, and then this bot will be here. This bot will be centered, and then if it gets cleared, then it goes back to the goalie bot. So that's basically how PenguinBot's rotation works. That is how PenguinBot is able to play with random teammates and with itself. And also using quick chat, because if a bot says, I got it, then we just say, okay, well, now that bot is the attacking bot. So let's say that this bot all the way back here says, I got it. Well, we say, okay, well, that bot probably has it. So we don't attack the ball, and we can let this bot fly in to here and attack. Although that would be a very dumb bot if it said, I got it all the way back there. So this requires a bit of trust in our teammates. Or let's say that the bot that we think has it says take the shot. Well, now what we do is we reevaluate and we say, okay, well, we assign some high score to that bot, and we say, okay, well, this bot's not going to be getting it, so who's the next best bot to get it? And that's how PenguinBot's rotations work. I'm really happy with this scheme. So now I'm just going to basically show it in action. So we're up 1-0 in this All-Star PenguinBot game. You can see that I have a little bit of a boost collection. So I just want to kind of switch around to the different bots and kind of show what each bot's doing, and see if we can do that. So I'm going to unhide the UI real quickly because I need to see what's going on. So we'll just watch. This is PenguinBot1, so we'll just go to the player view of PenguinBot1 and see what's going on. So right now, for example, this bot's evaluating, okay, well, I'm not the closest, that my teammate is the closest, so I'm going to move back onto the defensive rotations. And then now we see that the ball has been cleared upwards, so now this bot says, okay, now the other bot still got it, so now I need to move to center. I don't have force spectator ball cam on. I should probably turn that on. Spectator ball cam. So now we see this bot's definitely got it, so now we're going to be rotating to the center position. As you can see, We're now roughly center. We're ready to go for it if this PenguinBot 2 gets the center, and if we switch to PenguinBot 2 and PenguinBot 3, you can see PenguinBot 3 is moving into the back position, ready in case the All-Stars clear. We don't care about what the All-Stars are doing because they're bad at the game. And then you can see PenguinBot 2. We determined that PenguinBot 2 is not going for it, so we quickly move in, get the center, and you can see PenguinBot 3 is already there, ready to take the shot. And that right there is how the PenguinBot rotation scheme works, and that is how PenguinBot is able to determine who's supposed to go for the ball. This is my first video really talking about the code ideas behind what I do, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope that maybe you can learn a thing or two for your own bots. Maybe you can even come up with an even better system, because this system definitely has its flaws, and I'll probably be working on different variants of the system for new bots. But I hope you all enjoyed learning a bit about PenguinBot's rotations, and I will see you all in the next video.